the law of our nervous system. Hello, and welcome to our special talk show today, dedicated to exploring the incredible world of the human nervous system. Today, we're going to dive deep into one of the most fascinating, powerful aspects of our nervous systems, and its ability to act as a biological pharmacist that produces and regulates a vast variety of chemicals based on how we feel and how we think. You see, our nervous system is not just a complex network of wires and circuits that sends electrical signals to different parts of our body. It's so much more than that. It's a living, breathing system that consistently adapts and responds to the world around us. And one of the key ways it does this is through its ability to produce and release a variety of chemicals that affects our physiological and psychological state. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how your mood or energy levels can change in an instant? Have you ever felt a rush of pleasure or a surge of anxiety seemingly out of nowhere? Well, it's all thanks to the incredible power of our nervous system, acting as a biological pharmacist. This concept may sound simple, but it's actually a fundamental principle that governs how we experience the world and how we interact with others. By understanding the law of our nervous system and how it operates, we can unlock the keys to greater emotional resilience, flexibility, and well-being. So get ready to be amazed as we explore the fascinating world of our nervous systems and the incredible power it holds. Let's get started. What is the law of our nervous system? The law of our nervous system is a simple yet powerful concept that tells us a great deal about how our body works and the power of our minds. The metaphor of our nervous system is a biological pharmacist that manufactures chemicals based on how we feel and think, speaks to the idea that our thoughts and emotions play an incredibly important role in how our bodies respond. It's no secret that our body responds to the signals sent by our brains, creating a series of psychological responses throughout our entire body. The law of our nervous system states that these chemical responses created by our brain act as a sort of universal law governing how we experience physical sensations, mental and emotional states, and more. At its core, this law helps us understand why it's so important to pay attention to what we're thinking and feeling. As we become aware of these thoughts and feelings, we can begin to use them consciously in order to influence the chemistry in our bodies for positive outcomes. Whether it's calming ourselves down after a stressful day or taking steps towards reaching a personal goal, this law serves as a reminder to be intentional with what we give attention to in order to create change from within. By recognizing the power of this law, it's possible for anyone to create meaningful life changes even when faced with challenging circumstances. When we take responsibility for what is happening inside of us, on both an emotional level as well as a physical level, incredible things can happen. Our ability to manifest health, happiness, success begins with understanding the law of our nervous systems and utilizing it in everyday life. The human nervous system is a complex network of nerves and cells that carry messages to and from the brain and spinal cord to various parts of the body. It is responsible for controlling our movements, thoughts, and automatic responses. The nervous system consists of two main parts: the central nervous system, CNS, which includes the brain and spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system, PNS, which consists of all other nerves in the body. Our nervous system functions as a natural drugstore that manufactures chemicals based on how we feel and how we think. These chemicals, such as hormones, neurotransmitters, and endorphins, help regulate our emotions, behaviors, moods, and physical health. For example, when we are feeling anxious or stressed out, our body produces cortisol, which helps us cope with difficult situations. It's important to take care of our nervous system by getting enough restful sleep each night, eating a balanced diet full of vitamins and minerals, exercising regularly, Maintaining stress levels through relaxation techniques such as yoga or meditation, avoiding drugs or alcohol abuse, and seeking professional help if needed. Taking care of our mental health is just as important as taking care of our physical health. Our biological chemicals. As humans, we are endowed with an extraordinary tool for navigating the world: our nervous system. This intricate network of cells, tissues, and organs is responsible for everything from sensing environments and processing information to controlling our movement and regulating vital functions such as heart rate and breathing. But did you know that our nervous system also plays a critical role in shaping our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors? Indeed, our human nervous system acts like a natural drugstore that continually produces and dispenses a diverse range of substances, including neurotransmitters, hormones, and peptides, in response to our emotions and thoughts. These chemicals act as messengers that communicate information between different parts of our body and brain, influencing our moods, motivation, intentions, memory, and many other aspects of our mental and physical state. Our nervous system. Our nervous system is continually monitoring our internal and external environments and processing sensory information from multiple sources. Based on this information, it decides what chemicals to produce and release in different parts of our body and brain. For example, when we encounter a threat, our nervous system triggers the release of stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline, which prepares us to fight or flee. Similarly, when we experience pleasure or reward, our nervous system releases chemicals such as dopamine and endorphins, which reinforces our behavior and motivates us to seek more of the same. But the process of chemical manufacturing and release is not just reactive, it can also be proactive. Our nervous system can anticipate future needs and adjust its chemical output accordingly. For instance, when we are hungry, our nervous system releases a hormone called ghrelin, which stimulates appetite and prepares the body to digest food. Similarly, when we are about to engage in a challenging task, our nervous system releases a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine, which enhances our cognitive functions and attention. Moreover, the chemicals produced by our nervous system do not act in isolation. They interact with each other in complex and dynamic ways. For instance, some chemicals might amplify or inhibit the effects of others, depending on the context and timing. This is why our emotional and mental states are not fixed or static, but rather fluid and adaptable. Our nervous system is constantly adjusting and fine-tuning its chemical balance to ensure optimal functioning and adaptation to the ever-changing demands of the environment. Overall, the metaphor of our nervous system as a biological pharmacist captures the remarkability of this system to produce and regulate a vast array of chemicals that shape our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. By understanding this process, we can gain insight into how to optimize our nervous system and harness its full potential for health and well-being. Our nervous system is designed to be highly adaptable and flexible, allowing us to respond to the ever-changing demands of our environment. One way it does this is through its ability to adjust its chemical balance, as we discussed earlier. This means that our emotional and mental states are not fixed or static, but rather dynamic and malleable. For example, let's say you're feeling anxious before a big presentation. Your nervous system will respond by releasing stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline, which can make you feel jittery and on the edge. But as you start to speak and engage with your audience, your nervous system may start to release more of the neurotransmitter dopamine, which can enhance feelings of pleasure and reward. This shift in chemical balance can lead to a sense of confidence and enjoyment, even in a situation that initially caused anxiety. Similarly, our nervous system can also adapt to chronic stressors such as a demanding job or a difficult relationship. Over time, our nervous system may adjust its chemical balance to cope with ongoing stress, leading to changes in our emotional and mental state. For example, we may become more resilient or numb to stress, or we may develop coping mechanisms such as avoidance or substance abuse. Of course, these adaptations are not always positive or healthy. Sometimes the nervous system can be stuck in a maladaptive pattern that lead to chronic negative emotional and mental states, such as depression or anxiety disorder. In these cases, it may be necessary to intervene with targeted therapies or medication to help restore a healthy chemical balance and functioning. Overall, our nervous system's ability to adjust its chemical balance is what allows us to have fluid and adaptable emotional and mental states. Gaining an understanding of this process can help us enhance how to optimize our nervous system's functioning and cultivate greater emotional resilience, adaptability, and overall health. Biological pharmacist. Our nervous system can be thought as a biological pharmacist because, like a pharmacist, it has the ability to produce and regulate a vast variety of chemicals that affect our psychological and physiological state. In fact, the chemicals our nervous systems generate and discharge, like neurotransmitters, hormones, and peptides, have a crucial role in controlling various body functions, including our emotional state, digestion, and immune response. Just as a pharmacist needs to understand the various drugs and their effects on the body, our nervous system must also carefully balance the production and release of different chemicals to maintain optimal functioning. For example, our nervous system must carefully regulate the release of neurotransmitters such as serotonin and dopamine, which are involved in regulating mood, pleasure, and reward. Too much or too little of these neurotransmitters can result in imbalance that can lead to mental health disorders such as depression or addiction. Moreover, our nervous system must also adjust its chemical output based on the current state of the body and the environment. This means that it must be able to sense change in our internal and external environment and adjust its chemical output accordingly. For example, if we are exposed to a stressful situation, our nervous system will release stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline to help us respond to the threat. Once the threat has passed, our nervous system must also be able to reduce the production of these hormones to prevent long-term negative effects on our health. Overall, our nervous system's ability to produce and regulate a vast array of chemicals is what allows us to function in a complex and ever-changing world. By understanding this process on enhancing the performance of our nervous systems, it can assist us in fostering better physical and emotional health and improved well-being. Wow! What an incredible journey we've been on today as we explored the power of a nervous system to act as a biological pharmacist and produce a vast variety of chemicals that affects our physical and mental state. We've seen how this principle is not just a fancy metaphor, but a fundamental law of the universe that governs our experience and interaction. By understanding the law of our nervous system, we can tap into the incredible power of our mind-body connection and unlock the keys to greater health, happiness, and well-being. You know what? We can learn to regulate our emotions, cultivate greater resilience, and develop a deep sense of inner peace and contentment. So as we wrap up this special episode, I want to leave you with one key takeaway. Our nervous system is not just a passive receiver of external stimuli, but an active participant in shaping our experience of the world. By learning to harness its power and work with it rather than against it, we can unlock the limitless potential of our minds and body. Thank you for joining me in this incredible journey today, and I hope you leave feeling inspired, informed, and empowered to take your health and well-being to the next level. Until next time, take care and keep exploring the incredible power of the human nervous system. I'm Leroy Glover, and I thank you for your attention.